Hey guys, so I filmed so many videos today. Okay, so many is an exaggeration, but this is my third one that I'm filming today, which is why this makeup look is prominent across my channels. But I love it. I used the Mani Luna Beauty palette, and me using it for the first time is probably already up on this channel as we speak. So you guys can watch that. I'll put it in the description when I tried out the palette and his lip gloss because I was highly impressed, and I think you guys will be as well. Today I want to talk about things that I don't buy anymore, like makeup products that I just don't buy anymore, like cosmetics, beauty products, that kind of a thing. There was a YouTuber that I saw doing it. I'll try to find the thumbnail because it's not someone I was subscribed to, but it popped up on my homepage and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then Andrea Martellano posted a video of it as well, and then she credited the person that I first watched, and I was like, okay, damn, a lot of people are filming this video. I want to get in on it too. So it'll probably be a much shorter one because it's just not that much like content to get through. But I thought it'd just be interesting to tell you guys kind of like, you know how I usually do my anti-hauls? Kind of that kind of a thing, because I feel like in anti-hauls I tell you guys, oh, like I don't want this face palette because I don't like face palettes, and then when there's a face palette on Trendmood I don't want it purely because I don't buy face palettes, that kind of a thing, you know? So I want to go through the products, more like categories of products that I don't buy anymore, and then that will explain why I say the things I say in my anti-hauls. Instagram and Twitter, follow me on there. Main channel in the description, affiliate links, any good stuff like that. So yeah, let's get into the video. I don't buy face palettes except for the Hourglass one, and I was thinking about buying the Mani Luna Beauty blush palette purely because I love how this panned out. I want to try his other products, but other than that, I'm not a big fan of face palettes. So I like the Hourglass palette because it's useful, it's good for travel. So I'm almost out of the finishing powders, which I used to obviously set my face. I'm gonna have to repress these because I just struggle to use them now, so I'm gonna repress it like in one pan, just mix them together, because that's what I do, I just mix them together. Then it has a bronzer, then it has two blushes, one more dramatic one more neutral one, and it has a highlight. This is basically a full face in one palette. I love it. The only thing I wish is that they came out with more shades. Why is it that this is all the shade options that are available? Like, that's not a bronzer for everyone. It's a bronzer for like up to medium skin tones max. Like at the most, maybe someone that's like a few shades darker than me will be able to use this, but not very far. I think they should come out with at least 3 every time. So like light, medium, dark, and then that could be a good vibe, because this is a very good deal. I like this as just like a tester for the brand, but also just as a travel thing. So this is the only palette really that I'm into. I like my Pat McGrath highlight palette because it's 3 drastically different highlights, and I like my 4-pan Odin's Eye highlighter palette because it's 4 drastically different highlighters. But when you give me a palette where all the highlighters are slight variations of a champagne-y shade, they all look the same on the face. I don't know why I need that many champagne-y highlighters in one palette. It's not like I'm going to travel with that because they all look the same. And I also don't need it at home because why do I need a palette when I can just buy individual shades? That's what I mean. More like I just don't need a blush palette that goes from super light blushes to super dark, because I can only use a certain amount, you know? Like you should split it up. Like split it up amongst light, medium, dark. Don't put light, medium, dark into one palette because we can't use like 2/3 of the palette. I just think a lot of the time face palettes are just done really wrong. And that sounds, you know, awful, but I just think brands don't know how to do face palettes properly. They either only do like 6 pans of blush. Here you go, 6 pans of blush, have fun. Which is like, why do I need 6 pans of blush in one palette? I just don't need it. I'll buy them individually so I can actually carry them individually. They never do full face palettes, like doing your full face with a palette, or they do drastically different face shades in one palette because they're trying to be diverse and inclusive. But in reality, most people don't want that palette because someone with deeper skin tones is not going to use the same blush as me, and I'm not going to use the same blush as them. So we don't need those 2 shades in the same palette because it's just a waste of money. And that's why I've stopped buying face palettes. That was a roundabout way of saying that. Next, I don't buy big eyeshadow palettes anymore, and I broke that rule recently when I bought the ABH Norvina palettes, the big ones. I bought the pink one and the orange one, and I was punished straight away because they both came cracked. I'm still trying to figure that out. Hopefully by the time this video goes up, it's been figured out. But that's what I get for buying a big palette. It breaks in transit. But those 2 actually looked really nice to me. I've been debating on buying them for a while just to have like a lot of shades in one go if I need to like travel and I need like all the pink shades, you know, or all the orange shades. But I didn't want to buy them because they were kind of expensive and I heard mixed reviews. But then Beauty Bay had 20% off across all ABH products. So I was like, okay, this is a sign. Pick them up. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of big eyeshadow palettes because I feel like they either fall into the Morphe category, which for me is a lot of repetitive shades, which I don't need. It's just like 5,000 shades of brown, and I'm like, well, give me some variation. Or it's just a complete not cohesive range, where it'll be like, oh, here's a red and a blue and a green and have fun, try and figure something out. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. And they're all mixed up as well, because when a palette is really boring, what a brand will try to do is mix all the shades up. Instead of putting them into like cohesive little bunches of shades, they'll mix them up to make the palette look really innovative, and then it's actually just a very boring palette, but they've just mixed the shades up to make it more confusing for me to try and figure out what I'm doing. So that's why I don't buy big palettes. I like little cohesive palettes, and I've just realized now that that's just what I like to do. I like to buy smaller palettes where it's just like, this is the look I'm going to create with this. Here's like max 3 to 4 looks I'm going to create with this little palette, and that will be my 3 to 4 look palette. And then if I need a different look, I'll have a different small palette. And I don't feel weird when I'm traveling with palettes, because I can just bring 3 small palettes that I know that here's 12 cohesive looks that I don't have to think about. I can just slap them on. Okay, I also bought the Lunar Beauty palette, but I consider that kind of like a medium-ish to large palette, but that one is cohesive. Like, you can create a cohesive look with it, which I appreciate. So yeah, there are some exceptions in every single one of these categories. I'm going to try and tell you guys the exceptions, but as a whole, when I see a big palette on Trend Mood, I'm not like, wow, I need it. I'm more like, oh yeah, I wish that was a £9. Brush sets. Okay, I don't buy big brush sets anymore. I used to when I was trying to build up a collection. I bought like 12 or 16 set brushes. And then I realized I would keep on like giving them away to my mom. I'd be like, well, I don't use this one, do you want it? I don't use this one, do you want it? And then I'd be left with like 5 out of each set. Then what I realized is, I know it's a little bit less money friendly, like budget friendly, to buy individual brushes, but what that means is you can like curate your own brush set technically of different like brush sets. So now I mainly just buy individual brushes. Like if I know, oh, I'm doing my makeup and I'm like, oh, I wish I had this like specific brush, and then I just look for that one brush and I buy it and I add it to my collection, and then I know that that's like one brush that I'm going to actually use. Recently I bought 3 Sigma brushes because they were in a set, but I use all 3 of them. One's for blush, one's for bronzer, one's for foundation. Then I bought myself 5 Sigma, like those flimsy brushes. 3 of them were for eyeshadow and 2 of them were for face. That's an okay amount for me. I don't need 15 brush sets anymore because I'm not going to use at least 5 of them, and I'm going to have to give them to my mom, and then mom's like, I don't really need any more brushes, and then she's going to be like, well, do I just hold on to them? Like, what do I do? As much as it seems like a good deal to be like, oh, well, individually these brushes are $12, but now you can get these 10 for $80, and I'll say, wow, such a good deal. You're actually wasting money by not using the brushes that you bought. I don't buy makeup wipes anymore. I still buy cotton rounds, but I try to find, so Glossier has like organic cotton rounds, which I was kind of into, but they're very expensive for what they are. But I had a few credits, so I was like, okay, let me just get myself some nice little cotton rounds. But I tried to limit my cotton round usage. I've bought these microfiber removing cloths, so you put water on them and then you can take the majority of your makeup off. What I do is I do a double cleanse method where I put an oil-based cleanser, I do the whole thing, I add water, emulsify it, and then I take it off with a microfiber cloth because that takes off a lot of the makeup, and then I go in with a second cleanse, which is gel cleanse, and that's how I get my makeup completely off. And then if I'm not sure if I took it all off by some odd chance, I take a cotton round with a little bit of micellar water, and that's kind of how I do it. But I don't buy makeup wipes anymore. I think that's 1, not good for your skin, 2, not good for the environment. Next, I don't buy sale makeup. Ugh, I literally just mentioned sale makeup, I'll get into it. I don't buy sale makeup or skincare sets. So what I used to do is I used to wait for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then just go on, see what's on sale, and just grab things that I think I want but not quite sure I want. I didn't know if I wanted them because I actually wanted them, or did I want them purely because they were on sale. Now I go on Beauty Bay or Cult Beauty or whatever it is that I go on, I add things to my wish list, and then if those products go on sale, then I buy them because I know that I actually wanted them before they went on sale. I don't go on Beauty Bay and go, oh look, a product on sale, let me get it, because I know that that's like, did I want it when it was full price? Would I have bought it if it was full price? No. But if I add it to my wish list and it goes on sale, then I'm like, wow, we have a winner. And also don't buy skincare sets because I find I like buying myself individual products that I need for my skin and want. When you buy a skincare set, there's always going to be like one product, or makeup sets, that you don't really want. You're like, oh yeah, no, I mean, I want these other things and I'm going to accept this one thing that I don't want. And then it just lays around. So I try to avoid sets now, unless it's like a set of products that I was going to repurchase anyway. Like if you know you use an eye cream, face cream and something from one brand, and then they put all of that in a set for like Cyber Monday, snatch it up. I'll buy 2 just as backups. I don't buy matte bases anymore. I used to want when I was like 15, I wanted everything to be matte, like flat face. And now sometimes like someone will recommend a foundation, a concealer. I have to look like, oh, is it matte? Well, their skin looks amazing in it, I'm gonna look like a crusty lizard, and I'm not gonna buy it. Doesn't matter what like amazing reviews it gets, I just cannot do it. And I know that if I buy it, I'm not gonna use it. When I went to Florida, I bought the Uoma foundation because Nikki Tutorials really raved about it, and then I just didn't use it because it was matte, so I gave it to my mum. But my mum's like got more tan skin than me. She actually goes outside and like sees the sun, and so she can't use it either. So that was a waste of money, and I wish I didn't do it. I also wish I didn't buy the Fenty concealer before checking what the finish was. I wish I didn't buy, well, now I wish I didn't buy the Hourglass foundation because it is a little bit on the matte side, but now I mix it with other foundations, which is fine, but I probably wouldn't repurchase it purely because it's a more matte foundation. So, you know, there's just things that I don't buy, even when a lot of people rave about them, because that's just not my skin type. Like, regardless of what people are saying, you always need to look at like, how is this going to fit into my makeup routine? And I just never used to do that. I used to just buy stuff because people told me it was good. That was a mistake. I don't buy nail polish anymore because I do gel nails. That's it. That's literally just the tweet. Sometimes I look at like Kathleen Light, you know, with her Lights Lacquer thing, and I'm like, oh wow, these look so incredible, wow, I wish I could buy them, oh maybe I'll buy them, and I'm like, I don't do gel nails at all. So I just, you know, sometimes people ask me what nail polish is. It's not nail polish, it's just, you just gel. So unless you have like a whole lamp and everything, that information will be completely useless to you. But it's like a dusty pink. So if you find any nail polish that's like a dusty pink, then it will probably look the same. I think it's a Semilac, and it's called Indian Rose. If you guys use gel at home, then that might be important information to you, but I don't use nail polish, and I don't buy it anymore because I don't see the point. Next, I don't buy travel products. Now hear me out. I don't believe in travel products. I think they're a little bit of a scam because obviously you pay more for less. Because if you look at like the breakdown of like how much you'd pay per 100 milliliters, then travel products end up being more than full-size products. Of course, travel products are useful because you don't want to fill up your bag, but like how often do you travel where you're like so conscious of space that you can't have 100 milliliters and you have to take a 30 ml? Like, I'm never in that situation where I can't pack all of my makeup. And then also, sometimes I see a product on Trendmood and it's like a little palette or something. I'm like, wow, that would be incredible for travel. And I'm like, how much do I actually travel? Do I travel enough to buy specifically travel products? Are they going to expire before I actually use them? And then I'm going to have to use them at home anyway. So then what's the point of me buying travel products when I'm going to use them at home? Do you see what I mean? Yeah, I've stopped buying too many backups of products. I used to buy so many backups. Like, let's say I was using a foundation and before that one finished, it went on sale. I would buy it again. And if by the time I didn't even finish the first one, it went on sale again, I would buy it again. Why? And the thing is, that's what happened with my Hourglass one. I bought backups. I bought backups for my backups and then backups for my backups for my backups. And what happened is, halfway through using them up, I realized I don't like it. And then you have all these backups laying around. Your skin type has changed because skin types change. It takes ages to finish foundations and stuff like that. You don't know if you're going to like this product in a year's time. And if you buy enough backups for a whole year, that's really stupid because it's going to expire before you even get to it. Yeah, so I've stopped buying too many backups. I have a few backups now and I'm like not happy about it. I'm like, Angelika, why did you do this? What's wrong with you? But now I just wait for a product to finish. Like, I don't need to buy a backup of blushes because I have so many blushes. If I finish a setting spray, I have another setting spray waiting, and until I get to the last setting spray, I'm not gonna buy a backup. I might buy a new one to try out, like a whole new setting spray. Like, instead of buying Anastasia Beverly Hills, I'll buy Fenty, and instead of Fenty, I'll buy Hourglass or something, but I'll not buy a second Fenty spray until I finish this Fenty setting spray, if that makes sense. Like, I don't buy backups of the same product anymore. I don't buy too many primers because I don't think many of them actually do much. I don't buy the moisturizing ones anymore because I'm like, I could just use my face cream. So I'm trying to get through my moisturizing ones because I used to think that a moisturizing primer was like very crucial for my dry skin, when in reality it's just moisturize before you apply makeup. But I bought the Hydro Grip primer the other day. I bought the Hourglass Veil one for the Hourglass video, and I really like it because it does kind of fill in the pores and stuff, but not in like a super harsh way. I like illuminating primers, which have a little bit of shimmer in them, but I don't want to buy hydrating primers anymore, or just primers that are like, here's a primer, like just a generic primer. Like, what's it actually supposed to do? I like the Hydro Grip because it sticks your makeup onto you while also hydrating, so there's like a 2-in-1. And like I said, I like the Hourglass one. I wouldn't repurchase it, it's way too expensive for what it is. I actually do like the Fenty hydrating primer because I feel like it has that like gel consistency, which is good under makeup. So if I do my morning skincare and then I wait a few hours before I do my makeup, then I would apply the Fenty one. That's probably the only hydrating one that I would buy right now, other than the Hydro Grip. But I'm not too big on like generic primers, like, ooh, prime. Like, what are we priming? Like, how are we priming, you know? I said in like a separate category, which kind of joins into sets, face palettes, big eyeshadows, brush sets, that kind of thing. It's things I can only partly use, right? So, like I said, face palettes where I can only use 2 out of 4 of the blushes or 2 out of 4 of the bronzers or only a third of the highlights. I don't want to, because if I'm spending £50 on a face palette but I can only use £15 worth of it, then what's the point? I'm wasting money when I could just get an individual highlight that I will like just as much as this one. Like, this one isn't special enough for me to only use a third of the money that I actually paid for it, right? That makes sense? Yeah. I don't buy makeup sets or skincare sets because, like I said, you know, you're only paying for like partly using things and just things like that. Like, I don't like paying for things where I'm not going to use all of it. I want to. Okay, here's the thing. I don't get through makeup products often. That's the problem in itself. I have so much makeup that I don't get through a whole product very often. So for me to then buy makeup sets where I'm not even attempting to get through things is an issue, right? I like, you know, getting through things. And if I buy a palette where like I know that I can't use 2 out of 3 of the shades, it demotivates me when it comes to using the palette. 'Cause I'm like, well, I can't finish it anyway because it doesn't match. So like, it just gets me to like not use the palette anymore. I don't know. I just don't want to buy things that I can only partly use because it's like, what's the point? I'm wasting my money. So yeah, that's the video. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, comment down below anything you want to comment down below, and subscribe because I post videos every time I think of something to do. So hit that bell, you'll be notified when that's happening. Social media links, main channel, and affiliate links in description, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.